harus bagi berapa?
Just such a smart dog, a few years ago was a stray dog, was chased by a group of children all over the street, and accidentally even bumped into a person, and this woman is the dog's current owner. Aya, see the dog poor, gave it a little bit of food, the dog saw Aya leave, it has been following her, seemingly wanting to let Aya to take themselves home. Looking at the dog's helpless eyes, Aya finally decides to take it home, while its husband doesn't want to take it in and treats her coldly every day, instead caring for his black dog, Coffee. When Xiaobai sees this, he also tries to shake hands with his owner, but he treats him as heir, which makes Xiaobai very angry and jumps on the sofa for a bite. A year later, there is a new member of the family. Xiaobai has become more and more docile, every day to help the owner to guard the side of the child. The man is afraid of it to harm the child. Directly to Xiaobai shout out. Just when it did not know what to do, Coffee passed in front of it. Xiaobai hurriedly tapped the glass with his paw, letting the Coffee help open the door. Coffee skillfully opened the door and let the little white into the house, and finally did not forget to bring the door. Xiaobai was afraid of scaring the little master, so he sat outside the door to keep watch. Even if he wanted to sleep, it also endured the watch all night. In the morning the man woke up and found Xiaobai, and questioned Coffee.
Coffee? Kamu yang bantuin ya?
Coffee saw that the situation was not right and hurriedly played dumb to get out of his sight. Since then, Xiaobai has become the owner's little helper, but also threw the diaper into the trash can. The child is eating, food fell all over the place, Xiaobai is below to help her clean up. Soon the little master also gradually grow up, but also let the little master rely on themselves to learn to walk. And so it went on for 3 years. That night, the sky suddenly rained heavily. White seemed to find something, rushed to the door of the hostess and kept scratching the door. Tried to wake up the owner from the dream, and then brought the owner to the bedroom of the young owner. It turned out that the girl was sick, but fortunately, White found in time. The girl was sent to the hospital, and no serious harm. This day they sat in front of the house to play, suddenly attracted by the cries of the neighbors, through the fence only to find out that it was the neighbor's dog died, and the little boy was crying sadly. The little girl was also touched by this scene. At night the little girl suddenly asked her mom.
Tapi dan Jun akan mati kayak kubis ya, Ma?
Semua orang pada akhirnya akan mati termasuk binatang. Kita nggak bisa nebak umur seseorang atau sesuatu. Cuma Tuhan yang tahu.
The little white seems to understand the girl's words and rushes up to comfort the girl. The next day the family was going out for a trip. White didn't want them to go, but was ignored by the men, who never dreamed that just because they didn't take White with them, the little master almost died in the forest. When they were gone, Coffee gave the maid a death glare, and the maid had to communicate with him in dog language. White, on the other hand, is up there scratching at the door, because the little master's departure has made him fidgety and he always feels that something is going to happen. The maid keeps White in a metal cage to prevent him from running out. At night, Coffee sees that his brother is locked up, so he sneaks White out while the maid is asleep. Without looking back, White ran out of the gate. He was going to find his little master. A truck was being refueled, and the clever little White sneaked up and jumped on it, thus hitching a ride. When the owner came to his destination, White jumped out of the car and hurriedly followed the smell to find his master until dawn. At this time, Xiaobai was hungry and tired, and rushed to the passers-by to ask for a bite to eat. Seeing such a nice dog, the passers-by decided to catch him and send him to a dog meat restaurant for money. One fat man tempted by with food, while the other approached quietly from behind. In this way Xiaobai was tied to a tree by the dog traders and left to find a buyer. As soon as he leaves, a young boy walks over and unties Bai, and then sets off on his quest to find his owner. White ran furiously, not daring to stop for fear that if he arrived one step too late, the little master would be in danger. When White found them, he realized that the owner had already had an accident. Parents anxious to look around, did not find the body of the little master. Xiaobai instantly realized that something happened, and finally followed the scent of the little master, found the girl in a slope below. In order to escape the rain, White brought the girl to a cave. But at that moment, the girl's asthma again, looking at their little master cold and painful, White came to her side, lying on the body of the little master to help her warm. With a sense of security, the little girl soon fell asleep. When the rain stopped, the little girl started to have a high fever again. Little White could only take the little owner to her parents, but she didn't see the trap at her feet. Little White rushed forward and used her body to knock her owner out of the way. If she had been a second later, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Not yet a few steps, they were blocked by a large tree, and the other side is a deep cliff, and the left is a dense jungle. Want to pass from here, can only wait for Xiaobai to dig tunnels to climb over. It did not take long. Xiaobai dug a hole, and signaled the little master over, but the opposite side has not been quiet. Xiaobai had to run up to the big tree to check out. The little master was found lying on the ground dying.